Hope you all are doing good. Today's vlog is going to be very special because I have 3 Ford cars with me, 2 EcoSports and 1 Figo 1.5 automatic. What's special? I have a die-hard fan of Ford, my friend Jitin here, and all these 3 cars are owned by him. What we are doing is we're going to take all of his 3 cars, take it for a spin. He's got some insane modifications done, not externally. Don't judge the book by its cover, but stay tuned. You're going to enjoy watching this vlog. Crazy. So guys, I'm driving the Figo today. Jitin is in his red EcoSport. That's his all-time favorite. That's his project car. Behind is my friend Karthik, who's driving the blue color EcoSport of Jitin's. So we're on our way to a nice place, a nice shoot location. Stay tuned. Guys, see, we have lined up all the 3 Fords of Jitin's, and Jitin is here.
Yes.
And let's start with his blue car first. This beast was his first one, so let's see what's special in this beast. Jitin, could you tell me what's up with this?
Yep, so this too has a long and an interesting story. So in the year 2018, when I wanted to pick a car, my all-time favorite was a Duster. But due to budget constraints, I could not go with that, and we always had a soft spot for Ford. So what we did is, we wanted to pick the Figo initially, diesel. Then we sat in that and decided, no, we'll get a bigger car, and then we went for the EcoSport. And my mom was particular in getting this color because this was the launch color in the facelift EcoSport. But we had a budget, a strict budget, so we had to stick within 12 lakhs. So what I did was, I wanted this color and the infotainment system known as Sync 3, which I will be talking about later. So I wanted these 2 combos at this price. So I picked the car from Hosur, then got it to Karnataka and registered, but a brand new car. And I started modding this car after I went on a trip to Bhutan in 2019. So that's when I realized, okay, I'm missing a lot of features like hill assist, cruise control, TPMS, and a lot of these things were missing. And then one of my close friends or connects, who I can say, was where I started this journey from. So he's not in contact with me anymore, but we both started this journey, and then we started customizing the car, like bringing higher features to our lower variants, and that's why I started with the cruise control in this car. So this was one of the first cars which I worked on the cruise control, and then I changed the meter because the meter also was looking too basic for its time, and then I imported the meter from the UK, and that's how my modification journey started. 2 years later, I ended up buying the red car because my parents were telling me my usage is too high since I love to travel, and I could not find a better replacement than the EcoSport. I wanted to pick up an Altroz or an S-Cross. I think Varun knows.
Correct.
Varun and I
Always
picked our cars at the same time frame. So I even wanted to revisit Duster as well, but I couldn't. So after selecting or scrutinizing 100 cars, maybe this was the 101st car, and I don't know, I fell in love with this car instantly. It was not like this when I bought the car. So on Jan 2022, I picked this car up, and since then this has been making history, be it in terms of travel or in terms of customization. A lot of people have been inspired by these 2 EcoSports which I have owned and built over a period of time. And I think let us get to the inside of this car especially. I will show you the inside of the blue EcoSport too, but I think this is where the meat of the content of the mods are. This car is a tuned car from Wolf Moto, and it runs a stage 1 plus remap, which pumps up about 133 PS power and 300 Nm, close to 300 Nm of torque on the crank. And at the wheel, I think you can factor in another 10% error margin, and maybe you'll have a dip of about 125, 127 PS and 278 Nm torque at the wheel, which I think is pretty respectable. Well, during my recent trip to Ladakh, my future mod for this car is a 4-wheel drive, which the European version EcoSport gets. The 1.5 Eco Blue diesel 4x4. So that's my dream upgrade on this car. So without further ado, let me take you to the interiors, and then I will bring you back to how I brought the Figo back home.
And guys, the interiors is really interesting. Come.
Open.
The most craziest console I've ever seen on a Ford EcoSport. Check out this Ford performance. check this out.
So every single part has been sourced from overseas, and this is not the way the car came from the factory. I have built each and every part and tried to search OEM replacements from equivalent vehicles of Ford across the globe.
Okay.
So the meter and the steering, what you see, is from a Puma, and this can also be sourced from a Focus or a Fiesta, including the steering as well.
Okay.
However, my airbag, I need to replace it because this is not a direct fit. The stock EcoSport airbag is not a direct fit. I changed even the wiper stocks for better convenience, because I travel on highways and this is easier to do a quick lane change or flash my high beam. Even the infotainment from factory, what I got was Sync 3. Then I upgraded this to Sync 4, by changing the module which is behind the speedometer in the EcoSport. So let me show you the settings of Sync 4, like the general settings. So the main reason why I upgraded for Sync 4 was the flexibility of connecting to Android Auto and Apple CarPlay wirelessly.
Okay.
Rest of the features are all the same as the regular Sync 3, but the main advantage is the wireless Android Auto and CarPlay. So now I will just connect over Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. So when I go to settings over here, phone list, and it is already connected. So I am using wireless Android Auto. I have to turn on the Bluetooth as well. So now it will come. Yeah.
OEM.
Nothing aftermarket.
Okay.
Because I am a stickler for OEM stuff maximum.
Okay.
Except this particular knob. This was not OEM.
Okay.
This was inspired from the Mustang Shelby. So I wanted this particular knob.
Okay.
So you see there are no cables attached here, and I can play my music.
Okay.
Controlling from here, buttons for it. But even your regular cruise control works with this. So when you start the car, you can just increase or decrease the speed with this.
Great. Okay.
So this is a speed limiter too. I think most of you who are aware of the Bangalore, Mysore atrocities might use this speed limiter to keep your speeds in check.
Correct.
I would rather prefer cruise control because the car will just go on its own at a preset speed.
Correct.
So this has even voice commands, forward, rewind, all that is fine. Now, coming to the heart of the content is the drive modes. So there are 5 different modes. The first one being normal, which you get this blue color screen, which is default. Okay, second is eco. Third is sport. This is my favorite. Then the fourth mode is slippery. I wish I had this during my trip to Ladakh. It would have helped me in a lot of tricky situations. And my next favorite mode is the trail mode, where your TCS is off and it gives you that proper topography map kind of a feel when you off-road. So these are the drive modes, but there is a significant difference in braking because you had to change the braking module from an overseas Ford car, say a Ford Focus, Puma, Fiesta, and the model age should be say a model year should be about 2018.
Okay.
So that will support the functions to change in the digital cluster, which is the digital speedometer.
Okay.
So the requirement for that was the ABS module, the wiper stock, and the steering wheel button with this mode switch.
Okay.
Certain cars like Bronco, you get it even on the center console, but I wanted minimum intervention to go out of OEM scope, so I wanted to retain this look.
Okay.
So that is the speedometer part of it, and yeah, future pipeline, I'm not sure about launch control and other features like line lock, but definitely 4-wheel drive is on my bucket list. And then even this armrest also is changed. There's a sliding armrest which you get in the export spec EcoSport.
Okay.
So this helps greatly on my highway drives. Cushion is not OEM, I bought from Amazon.
Okay.
But this is better than the stock one, so that you have 2 levels of storage. One here, and another deep cubicle where I store all my wallet or deodorant, whatever it is. And then you have a slot to place your keys in case the battery goes weak.
Cross-border alcohol as well, huh?
Oh yeah, the original Titanium Plus came with under-seat storage, which Ford sadly removed. And yep, so even we have a provision for integrating heated or cooled seats, which I will consider in the future. And even the glove box too has a cooling feature. This is the glove box cooling knob. So this was also another OEM Ford part which Ford gave in the earlier version of the EcoSport, which is a pre-facelift. So we again found the parts from the Ford catalog and then ordered these. It was not that expensive either, but I feel it helps me keep my chocolates as well as cold beverages cool on a warm sunny day when I travel across the country. And yep, I have traveled to several places in this car. This has been more like a house on wheels. See,
1,41,000, no?
Yep.
That's in a span of what, 3 years?
2.5 years.
2.5 years.
And my service cost has hardly exceeded above 5,000, and wherever I go across India, that has been the cost. See, until and unless I have a major change, suppose like if I have to change brake pads, or if I have to change the clutch, or if I have to change the diesel filter, my maintenance cost comes around 5 to 6,000 rupees for every 10,000 kilometers. So that is 50 paise.
That's
And
good.
the major service was at 1.1 lakh, where I changed the timing belt.
Okay.
Apart from that, service has been very, affordable, pocket friendly,
Okay.
and it is cheaper than running my two-wheeler. My two-wheeler is gathering dust, whereas this car is being used every day.
Makes sense.
So that's about the interior of the car. Let me take you to the exterior. Oh yeah, you can show this carbon fiber as well, which I have done.
Carbon
There's a
fiber.
custom made carbon fiber, this one print on this.
Okay, all doors?
All 4 doors I have.
Okay.
And now coming to the side as well.
Uh-huh.
This cladding also is not a part of the regular EcoSport. This whole thing, it is dirty, I know,
Okay.
pardon the weather. So this cladding also came with the EcoSport Thunder.
Okay.
So I got this and this changed, including that.
Uh-huh.
And even, these stickers and the bonnet was again inspired from the EcoSport Thunder.
Thunder, okay.
Yep, so Thunder never came in the red color. So I thought, okay, why not experiment it with this.
What about these?
This is a custom built grill.
Okay.
I bought the aftermarket Ford Raptor grill and broke down the mesh.
Okay.
Then rebuilt another mesh
Uh-huh.
with the help of 6 Mile Customs and got this logo as well,
Okay.
custom made. And even this is also from the Thunder variant,
Thunder variant.
which
okay.
enhances the look. Even the headlights also are Thunder.
Ah,
Anyone who guesses this original variant without looking at the number plate,
okay.
I will treat you a small goodie, a very small goodie. If you can guess the exact variant of this car, the
Okay.
original variant before it was modded, you have one small surprise from me.
I mean, there's some mod that you've installed in this EcoSport, which it makes it the only one in the world. There's no other
That
EcoSport.
drive modes.
The drive modes.
Yes,
Nobody
that's
has
the first
it.
one. That's the first one. Without any additional CAN bus or any hardware, I have only used swapped the ABS module and the steering stock as well as the buttons over here.
Okay.
So I will show you the bonnet, which part exactly needs to be changed.
Okay.
You can additionally change even the steering motor as well
Okay.
to get a proper feel of how the drive modes work.
Okay.
But I feel it is a very good add-on. So over there, behind the battery tray is the ABS module of the Puma, not the EcoSport.
Okay.
It looks identical.
Okay.
But Ford being Ford, they have given different type of wiring for the lower variants. Since mine is the topmost variant, you guys have a hint for the price. So luckily the couplers were direct fit. Otherwise it would have been a problem for me.
Okay.
So I've used the Puma's ABS module to enable those drive modes.
Oh.
Initially I had struggles in running the right code for this or getting it to work, because I was literally driving without brakes for 3 weeks because my ABS wasn't working, hill assist was not working. Then a good friend of mine called Satya had helped me from Europe, because he too has a crazily modded EcoSport.
Okay.
We sat overnight on this and we got it working at last. So that's why you see those drive modes there.
Crazy.
There is something which is small, subtle, but yet a very, very useful mod.
Exteriors?
Yes. This is known as the Thunder spoiler,
Okay.
or the Batman spoiler as we call it in the group.
Spoiler.
But something is there in the exterior. I want Varun to guess.
What is it?
It is a very, very functional mod. I gave you a hint in the ABS module as well.
Oh yes! Oh yes! Look at this! Look at this! Disc brakes in the rear.
OEM.
OEM disc brakes. Oh my God, that's crazy, bro.
Okay.
That's a great upgrade.
Yep. So
Nice.
this does help in stopping power really well. So I think it's a very good upgrade. And again, Ford being Ford, missed all of these. But yeah, it costed a lot for me to get this, and one of my friends called Raghu had helped me on sourcing this particular part, because him and I sat together, found which are the part numbers, we verified which would be a direct fit for the EcoSport, and then we went forward.
Okay.
But it was a risky one, because the investment also is huge in this, because we changed the axle.
Okay.
So the rear axle has to be changed to accommodate the disc caliper. It's a much needed upgrade for high speed runs.
And
It has saved me from quite a few tricky situations. And you don't need to change the ABS module for this particular mod.
okay.
I have changed it primarily for drive modes and
Okay.
to implement launch control and four-wheel drive in the future.
Okay.
So in a nutshell, yep, my trusty little red Thunder Dragon. The reason why I'm calling it Thunder is because of the Thunder theme. Because no other red car in India has this theme present.
Okay.
You might have seen a red car, but not with the Thunder pack.
Makes sense.
And somehow it looks good on the red. I don't know how Ford missed, but there are a lot of things which Ford missed. Continue forward and go ahead with why I picked this guy.
one, Figo. Yes.
This too was another dream. I had a chance with this car, but back then I did not buy it because it was my first car and I did not want it to be a petrol automatic. I am a diesel head. We went to Chennai, picked the car and came. The previous owner had no idea how valuable the car is. And the moment I saw it was a black car, I was sold. Took a loan, picked it the very next day and drove it back home. And yeah, initially it came with the 14-inch wheels.
Okay.
But when I was driving from Chennai to Bangalore at say around 120, 130, and when I was doing a corner, the car lifted off on one wheel. So I decided, no, this car needs minimum 15 inches for better stability because it's way too powerful.
What about the width? Did the width also increase?
The width is increased slightly because the later models in the Figo, such as the Figo Blue, came with this particular alloy. So the tire size is 195/55 R15.
Okay.
And in the EcoSport, the red one I have upgraded to 215/60.
Okay.
And again, what you see on this also is pretty OEM.
Okay.
The car was bare bones when it came to me.
Okay.
When I got this spoiler done.
Okay.
The wheels also are upsized and picked from the Figo Blue. Only this part is aftermarket. Nothing else is aftermarket. This and this exhaust.
Exhaust is like a catback, right? Not only
the muffler swap, so you can again swap it back to stock as well.
Okay.
And yep, this car I feel it is good. It's a good alternative compared to the Polo or whatever you have in the competition. I would especially say the i20 N-Line because don't look at it since it's a used car or something. It offers immense value because for somewhere at 60% of i20's cost or the new Polo's cost brand new, you are getting a brilliant 1.5 liter engine. It's a 3-cylinder engine, of course, but I think this is the country's fastest naturally aspirated hatchback because the power figures it produces.
And very comfortable for a Bangalore traffic because it's automatic.
Yep, it is very comfortable and even the rear seat space, my car is in a mess because I keep hauling parts or some stuff for the other always.
But yeah, pretty spacious.
So 4 people can sit. Like see, if you're a college student, you can definitely think of it compared to the Polo. Of course, people might have heard about the Figo diesel.
Correct.
That is a legendary car in itself. But this one is an underdog because the reason why it's an underdog is one, it was primarily intended to be sent to the South African market.
Okay.
I don't know what people at Ford were thinking, but I feel they should have given Sync 3 with this. I have the kit right in my boot.
Okay.
But I will install it sometime later depending on my time availability. So yep, the reason for why this car is the heart and soul of this car. Where is the bonnet? Okay, so this is the reason why I picked this car. It's a 1.5 Dragon 3-cylinder engine. So pumps out 123 bhp of power and 150 Nm of torque, which is pretty good for a hatchback. So that's why when I say it is one of India's fastest NA hatchbacks, NA as in naturally aspirated without any turbocharger. Your Polo GT TSI, your Abarth as well as your i20 N-Line has a turbocharger.
Correct.
This has no turbocharger and it draws in air naturally, unlike forced induction.
Okay.
And the 0 to 100 figures, I think Varun might have taken a video. I too have a couple of videos. It is insanely quick. Within 10 seconds, I think you can cross 100.
Yeah.
This is a torque converter gearbox, so it is much more reliable than your DC either. But for a torque converter, I feel this is pretty quick. It's very quick. And the engine is a straight lift off. Even the transmission is a lift off from the EcoSport.
Okay.
The facelifted EcoSport petrol automatic.
Okay.
So when you calculate the power to weight ratio, this definitely is above 100 110 bhp per ton. I'm certain about that. I have not calculated the exact figure. Maybe we can calculate and give it in the description later. So
Awesome.
that's about the car. So it's a pretty simple functional car. Well, I was thinking of a rear disc for this car as well, but I will do that only once I'm done with my EcoSport on the 4-wheel drive.
What about the Red Dragon's exhaust?
That is stock.
That is stock.
Because that's a daily driver, so I wanted to keep it as stock as possible in the exhaust perspective.
Okay.
This is more like a weekend this one toy, or a weekend car, I would say. Not toy would not be an appropriate term. So it's more like a weekend car, or sometimes you can take it to the track day. But seriously, this is a deserving candidate for the track. I don't know if Ford is hearing this or not. Bring the 1.5 Figo in a petrol manual avatar. You will have a rally bred car. Like, it has the potential. The chassis has the potential. And even interior space wise, it is not bad for a first time car buyer. Maybe they can fix a few things like giving an armrest and giving that Sync 3, even cruise control or something, which I had to install on the Figo. If you see over there,
you had to install
I had to install it on the Figo, because that also helps in maintaining better economy on the highways immensely.
Makes sense.
So that's about the Figo in a nutshell. There are a lot of other things which I can talk about, but I think that's more than enough. So coming to this, my foundation or base car, the blue baby, as my parents fondly call it. So this was my foundation for going all out on my cars. So this steering also, what you see, this is one of the first facelift EcoSports to have a retrofit cruise control, but there's a cut behind the steering.
Okay.
So that time was new to this, so that would be the reason for it. And then this cluster as well is from the UK. See, it turns off similar to BMWs. So once you turn the ignition on, so once you turn the ignition on, this comes up. And yeah, this car never had this one, what to say, TPMS.
So you installed the TPMS?
Yes. So I'll show you that as well. But yeah, since one of my tires cut, I'll have to get for a replacement. But TPMS is pretty accurate, does help in a lot of situations. So that's about it. And yeah, even the AC cluster has been changed. Earlier it was stock, so it's the same as the red EcoSport. So this is also from a European spec EcoSport, and this is the Sync 3 with Sync 3.4. I purposely kept this on Sync 3 and Sync 4, so there will be some differentiation in both my cars.
Okay.
So the only difference is this has wired Android Auto, that one has wireless. About the blue car, I have explained about this numerous times. Maybe I can share reference links or videos pertaining to this car.
Okay.
So in terms of mods, it is almost neck and neck, but that would take the cup for mods.
100%.
It has almost everything what you need in a car. So my next project in this would be to implement hill assist on the blue car. The reason is this was a titanium variant and never came with hill assist.
Got it.
So I wanted to do that. Apart from that, this also looks pretty OEM-ish, and even these wheels, these were like one of the first ones which I had sourced separately from a source at Ford, because this was supposed to come in the unlaunched facelifted EcoSport, which Ford was supposed to launch before their exit.
Okay.
So these were also very beautiful.
They look really nice, the chrome finish like especially.
Love at first sight, because for the blue it complements really well. The stock titanium wheels were like okay-ish.
Correct.
So this looked really classy, and I thought, okay, for blue this will look really nice. And well, that's about my Fords.
Awesome, Jitin, that was amazing. Guys, see, I'm in the Figo right now.
Put in D or S?
Yeah, put it in S mode, bro.
Okay.
So, okay, let's launch this beast. On your mark, get set, go. Whoa, sounds beautiful, man. Feels heavy. Whoa, man, this is brilliant.
It's planted. At 160, 150,
Yes.
160.
Great. Now we are in the red EcoSport, Red Dragon Stage 1 tune. Let's launch this beast and see.
Switch off traction control.
Yeah, switch off the traction control.
Because this is the actual button. Since I changed the ABS, I have to switch it off this way by putting it in trail mode.
Whoa, that was a spin, bro. These
Car will wheel spin even in second or third gear.
second or third
All
gear.
depends on how you drive it. But again, this is also a sub 10 second 100 car only.
Okay.
Under the sub 10 lakh or the sub 20 lakh segment, Ford was the first to bring in all these features. Then everyone followed suit. But they never compromised on one thing: their ethics and their build quality. It is still rock solid.
Guys, you heard Jitin, and all the modifications is done on this. Trust me, is Red Dragon, the red EcoSport, is one of my favorites. I've been following him from a very long time. He's a team BHP member. Source any parts, need help with it, please DM him. He'll be happy to help you. And finally, share this video with as many as Ford fans possible. And see you all in the next video. Hope you all like it. Bye.